The World Health Organization estimates that each year approximately 1 million people take their own life. That's one death every 40 seconds. Experts predicted numbers would peak in 2020, but no one could have imagined the devastation brought on by COVID-19. During the coronavirus pandemic, you may experience anxiety, sadness, and loneliness. Existing mental health conditions, including severe anxiety and major depression, may worsen. If you're feeling hopeless, contemplating self-harm, or you're concerned about someone else, I'm here to tell you there is hope. A Mission for Michael is dedicated to helping clients achieve complete inner and outer transformation. Mission for Michael is the premier resource for intensive mental health treatment in Southern California. With an astonishing 2-to-1 client-to-staff ratio, each client in their facility receives individual care 24 hours a day, overseen by a team of all doctorate or master's level clinicians. With a focus on evidence-based treatment, along with personalized and compassionate care, they offer mental health treatment that can change lives. If you're suffering from mental illness or you're concerned about a loved one, go to amfmtreatment.com. Again, that's a mission for Michael, amfmtreatment.com, or call 866-581-4401. Again, that is 866-581-4401. I am so grateful for our friends at Blue Microphones. Not only have they completely changed what our show sounds like, they've given me headphones so I can monitor things better. This is the mic for millions of creative people, and now I know why. I'm so grateful for them completely changing the quality of our audio. You'll find Blue mics like Yeti and the Mouse, which we're using here, both in pro studios and home studios, literally all over the world. Their popular Yeti caster is a Blue Yeti microphone, plus a boom arm system that's behind many of your favorite podcasts. I run into them all the time, and now I know why. If you've ever thought about creating your own podcast or YouTube channel, Blue can make you sound and look great. Just visit bluemic.com and click Get Started, and you can start telling your story.
Hello, everyone. It's a dose of Dr. Drew.
Right off the top here, we've got a lot of intrigue on the Restream. Andrew Ashkazvili, who's always good for some news, says he has not just great news, but big news. And he's not telling any of us what the big news is, which would be nice to know, because I'm not aware of any, he maybe has some advanced something, like, or he caught something that just came out.
I don't like the way the camera is on you.
I have 4 feet above my head.
You look very short
today.
Yes,
maybe you want to
there. How's this?
Direct that. That's a little better.
Okay, and then I have this angle, but I have to like lower the my camera went out
here?
right before. No. I'm gonna fix that one, but
there.
This one looks good.
But
thanks to our sponsors, Blue Mic and AM/FM, as well as Hydrolite and A Better Life Recovery.
So Andrew's big news. This is our friend Andrew Ashkazvili.
Sorry, I just had
the big news is, I know the camera angles are very important, but this is bigger news, which is that the Pfizer organization is going to file for emergency use authorization tomorrow for their vaccine. So Andrew, does that mean days or weeks till distribution? Because as soon as it's available, I am running to the hospital to go get it. Please let me know if that's, and do we know, oh, my mic is low apparently, volume-wise.
Oh, it is? That's because Caleb was here.
Yeah, audio's too low. Hold on one second. We'll get it.
Caleb.
Yes, Michael Fleming said that's amazing. It is amazing. So back to, if you heard me or not, the Pfizer will be filing for an emergency use authorization tomorrow. In which case it would be nice to know how they're going to distribute it. That's the next question, because there's been planning around it, but actually not explicit directions, and certainly not any public disclosure of that. Still saying it's low. It was the mic position, or it is the mic position, everybody?
Hold on, I can do a little better. Hold on.
Yeah, Tom Cigars wants the shot. Ready? We're good?
How's that? Well.
Okay, so Andrew says that Vice President Pence said today it'll be distributed 24 hours after approval, and in arms 24 hours after that. You say weeks. Hey, man, if they're going to distribute in 24 hours and then administer in 24 hours, I'm thinking days. Days for me, if that's the case. So Mark asks, the third wave now, what happened to the second wave? Did it just go right past us? Yes, it did. That was the summer wave. But remember in the summer they kept saying, well, it's still the first wave. And now is the third wave still the first wave? It's gone like this. What? Up. It's just been a stepwise increase. world rewind, she should be tested with the fever and chills. Anybody with fever and chills should be tested for COVID for sure these days. One of the interesting things about the lower influenza data that's out there is that Dun 9977 liked our Juicy Scoop interview, Susan. So
it's up, right?
Yes, it is up. Avail yourself.
I had a very strange experience.
Well, hold on. Before you tell me, let me just finish my influenza remarks, which is that influenza is down. We thought maybe influenza is down because people are using their masks. But, of course, moving your hands to your face will actually transmit influenza as opposed to will not transfer COVID. So it's not really clear. But then they started realizing that this is why this whoever it was that had the fever and chills in the family reminded me that doctors would not test for influenza for him. They would just test for COVID. And he come back negative as COVID, and they just kind of let it go. He could still have been an influenza. So we're doing lots less testing for influenza. And I think more importantly, and the CDC website says this, children spread influenza. The original model of lockdown by the 14-year-old in New Mexico was to prevent influenza spread, which is why she recommended locking down schools. Schools have been locked down, so influenza can't spread. That's probably the main reason we have lower influenza this year. Now,
back to the Juicy Scoop.
Real quick.
So everybody needs to go listen to the Juicy Scoop interview with Drew and me when we were in Mexico. Heather did a whole life story of us. And then the funny part was I had gotten a call from Dr. Brady, who was on our show before and gave the free teeth to Allison Riney, or Riney, or whatever her name was. Anyway, she has a whole new set of brand new teeth. And he said, I'd really like to have somebody on Christina P's show get a free set of teeth. Christina passed, but Heather said she wanted to do it. But anyways, long story short, I didn't know the Juicy Scoop thing was up, but Allison Riney, the one who got the teeth, said, my sister never talks to me and said, and reached out to me because she heard you on the Juicy Scoop.
Promoting it.
Yeah, podcast, and said, I never get any attention from my sister, but since she knew that I knew you and you were on Juicy Scoop, suddenly we were somebody.
I see. So she's a Juicy Scoop fan.
And I said, that's such a weird coincidence because I need to reach out to Dr. Brady and ask him if Heather can have somebody on her show get a new set of teeth. And because Heather's very excited about it because she has a lot of moms that have teeth problems, and so she's gonna find somebody. But it was just weird that Allison mentioned it to me, and then she brought, that it's just a small world. Anyways,
so
very coincidental.
So
anyways, if you want to go listen to Juicy Scoop and get some new teeth, there may be some coming your way.
Excellent. Andrew reminds us that the emergency use authorization depends on how long the FDA takes to approve that. I'm guessing that they're on warp speed with the approval process, so I'm guessing it'll be pretty soon. Someone is asking, where was that? Somebody's asking for seeing psychological problems in children. Absolutely. All the mental health professionals I know keep saying you cannot believe what we're seeing.
Really?
Particularly 8 to 15-year-olds, and then early collegiate, like 8 to 15-year-olds and college freshmen. That's what we're seeing.
Are there going to be more porn stars?
I think there's going to be more panic and depression, and that's what we're seeing. I don't know. It's not trauma so much as panic and depression. Oh. We are ruining a generation, and all the while not allowing them to progress academically and socially. It really is a horrible problem that is being essentially disregarded by our public officials.
Yeah, my son said he feels like a monk.
Dr. Fauci has said, this is the vapist, shouldn't close schools. CDC never recommended the closures. Yes, all these crazy things you're seeing, CDC has never recommended. This curfew in California, where is the science for that? They call it science. Mr. Newsom, where was that published? What journal was it published? What were the assumptions of that study? What were the primary hypotheses? What was the experiment they did to determine that a curfew is the way to deal with an epidemic outbreak? That kind of thing, making people stay home, was tried once in human history in Venice during the plague. It did not work. It turned out bad. So exactly what's going on here and why they're doing it, no basis in science. No basis in science. Masks have an arguable basis in science. Distancing, arguable basis in science. But the idea of staying home where 80% of the transmission occurs, no basis in science. No, Tom Scar, CDC did not ever recommend shutdowns. Look, other countries, when they do shutdowns, are only doing curfews. We have shutdowns and curfews. Where is the science, everybody? Where is the science, please? Yes, we need to do something. Yes, we need to wear a mask. Yes, we need to distance. We need to get this thing under control. No doubt about it. But let's do it in a systematic, evidence-based fashion where we are giving good health messages, which we know how to do. I was saying this today on another podcast that we know during the AIDS epidemic, we were trying to get people not to have sex. It was a tall order. We never got up and went, don't have sex. You're going to kill people if you have sex. We never did that. Now we're like, don't be around people. You'll kill grandma if you go around people. This is unbelievable. What we did is we learned how to shape health behaviors with humor, with narrative, with relatable sources. Loveline was why I did Loveline was that.
Right.
So the fact that we've lost that so completely and left it behind in the name of authoritarian mandates, in the name of you being a murderer. Think if we had done that during the HIV epidemic. That was a deadly illness in essentially all cases. It was always deadly. And we never once said, you screw somebody, you kill them. We never said anything like that.
You told me that I could screw someone, and you're killing people, Dr. Drew.
Is that unbelievable? I mean, think about how insane that is.
I know.
But what we did was we told stories, and we had relatable people or people who were infected telling them what happened. That's what we do.
Do you know what I feel really bad about?
And by the way, let me just say that we have Gavin Newsom. I'm going to get you, Susan, but we have Gavin Newsom eating indoors in a restaurant with 14 people. Okay. With the CEO of the California Medical Association.
Keller.
But I bad for Thomas Keller, but Newsom telling us not to go to a restaurant is the same as a parent with a cigarette hanging out of their mouth saying, you kids shouldn't smoke. What? In what world does that ever work? Can you turn the air on, Susan? I'm actually breaking a sweat.
Okay, but listen.
Yeah.
Thomas Keller owned a beautiful restaurant in Hudson Yards near our house in New York. And they just closed it. I mean, they literally just opened it. Huge, beautiful steakhouse with a premier kitchen and all these employees. And it was just like 3 floors, 3 bars. And they closed it. They just closed it like a couple months ago because, obviously Hudson Yards isn't opening indoor dining in New York. So here's this poor guy. He's stuck with Newsom coming in, and then he's the, bad guy for letting him have dinner. And I mean, it's not good for him. Think about that. Think about the businessman. My nail person can't get people to come in. She can't take walk-ins.
Here's the other thing. And Tom Cigar, you're not a bad person. The other thing is, if our leaders, this state is the most draconian, California, and they are ruining people's lives, ruining people's businesses in the name of, we're still in a pandemic. I'll tell you what, you don't take your salary until those businesses are restarted. How about that?
Yeah.
Maybe you'll think differently about how you vote. Stop pulling your salary if you're going to require other people to stay home and suffer and lose their businesses and jobs. You lose your salary. Join them. It's fine. Then I'd be more apt to listen to you. But as it is, this do as I do, as I say, not as I do, is extremely disturbing for people. Chris Spicer, I do not have calls today.
Tyler Easter just texted me. He said, I got notified that Drew was live, so I watched y'all for a second. It was serious about COVID for me to jokingly ask a question about my butthole. Also, you're welcome. I'm missing you. Bye.
We're missing him too.
He's in New York.
Florida has a curfew.
For New Yorkers
Linda, what's going on in Florida? I thought Florida opened all up again. Did they close back down? Tell us what's happening there. Let's reading your guys' comments. I'm not panic porning myself. I'm upset because I've done 3 other podcasts today where I was thinking about these things all day.
I know.
And getting more and more sort of like, God, this is
Well, you
silly.
couldn't go
this
off last night because your sound went out. It was pretty funny.
Do I agree with Fauci saying even after the vaccine he will wear a mask? I am betting he won't with the 95% efficacy, but we'll see. I did hear about the mouthwash study that
I think
kills.
I'll wear a mask on a plane.
Maybe
even afterwards.
Maybe reasonably.
No,
Florida's open person responsibility method. That's what I thought. Kelly Gallagher, are you upset that you can't go to a restaurant because that's weird? I'm upset because I am socially disengaged. Being socially disconnected is extremely unhealthy. It is depressing. Humans need other humans as a way of regulating their emotions and obtaining meaning. And we are being specifically cut off from our social relations while we're watching our leaders engage in their social
Yeah, I know,
relations.
but it's hurting the business people. Like,
And
you can only have
I am
25% in New York in
I am
the
worried
building.
about the 100,000 jobs in and around Disneyland that our government seems to have zero concern about. Those are jobs that are being lives that are being upended. That is
it's
deeply
okay to shut down
concerning.
at 10 p.m. because that's pretty much, that makes sense.
More restaurants, though, more people. How about the late night shifts? How about the people that gather and get some coffee and social distance and wear their masks? They're being cut off from their social connections. That is really, we are depressed enough. We are anxious enough. They got to pay attention to these mental health aspects of what they're doing. And if they're going to do something that is excessive, show us the evidence.
Yeah.
Where was that published? What is the data you were using to make that determination? Just give me the publication so I can read it and understand. You know what? Guess what? There is no such publication. There isn't anything like that because no one has ever shown this to be efficacious. That's all why I'm upset. So there you go. Do I think it's smart to open Disneyland during a surge? No, I didn't say it is. I said I'm worried about the 100,000 jobs in and around Disneyland that our government has been
and the restaurants
disregarding
and the hotels
completely.
and
I'm saying, and by the way, Florida's in a surge. They have not closed Disneyland. Are there any cases
World.
associated with Disney World? Can they trace anything to Disney World? Again, let's do some evidence-based tracing. Has anybody seen any outbreaks related to a restaurant or a restaurant server? Anybody, any publication, any research, a restaurant or a restaurant server? Now, bars, to me, people are out of line in bars. They never practice proper distancing and stuff.
Unless it's outside.
And so I get that if people really are not practicing the proper procedures that we know work,
right.
then you got to close it down.
You know what, I have a
get
question,
that.
Drew, and I've asked you this before, but they're saying that we're having this huge uptick and it's tripling and doubling and whatever, but how many of those are kids back in school?
Right.
Or
so that's the other thing. So
but how many of those are actual?
So I only have the country is not giving us that data, but local counties do. And if you look at counties, I can give you LA County, Orange County, the surges are due to doubling in young populations. Doubling in young populations.
Which is okay.
Death rate remains 80 and above, 93% with underlying severe medical conditions. No one's dying in that surge group, which is young. Very few are being hospitalized unless they are at risk, in which case they're being asked to come in to get the fancy treatments we have now, Regeneron, remdesivir, convalescent plasma, Decadron. So in the old day, we would say stay out of the hospital. Now we say come in. And so hospitalization going up a little bit. Death rate in California goes down every day since July.
Yeah.
Now, the numbers that we're seeing in LA County, which is what I look at mostly, is the same as it was in July. Did people freak out in July? Were they saying we'd have to lock everything down? They didn't.
Barbara Ferrer makes it sound like we're all going to die.
So Dawn says, my college freshman back at school since August, only 2 COVID cases, all symptoms, all semester. Well, college freshmen are having a tough time, I'm hearing. That is 18 to 15-year-olds, 8 to 15-year-olds, and college freshmen. Yeah. A lot of college freshmen are coming home because why stay in college? They're not allowed to socialize. They're being told they're bad. They're always on top of them. They're not being allowed to do anything, so why not just go home?
That sucks.
Ronnie's asking, did the Sturgis, South Dakota motorcycle rally cause an increase of cases? This is the Sturgis rally you guys know about. I will just say, whenever there are large congregations of humans during this pandemic, the virus spreads. Can we accept that? Can we just say that? Whether it is Sturgis or Washington, D.C. or Long Beach, when lots of people get out together, it passes. Now, if you're in the sun and you're 6 feet across, you're probably good. But when you're crammed together in small environments, not wearing masks, and it's nighttime especially, then it's going to happen. It's going to happen. That's it.
Paolo
it's just going to
wants
happen.
to know if you're worried about side effects of the vaccine.
I am not worried about it.
Remember flu vaccines seen Guillain-Barre syndrome?
Guillain-Barre syndrome is extremely rare, and essentially none. 70,000 people have taken these vaccines so far. No significant side effects. No significant side effects out of 70,000 people. Now, the question is, 2 years from now, could there be something? Yes, it's a new kind of vaccine. It's been used worldwide, but never in this country. I am sympathetic to somebody who says, look, I'm 30 years old. I don't have any risk factors. Even if I get this thing, nothing's going to happen to me. Why should I expose myself to a new vaccine? I understand that. You should wait, if you feel that way, till the live attenuated virus comes along, which is the old-fashioned vaccine, much the way the flu virus is put together, the flu vaccine, and take that one. I'm all about it. I think that's fine.
Gary
and
White
in reality, you shouldn't be getting it till the very end anyway, like
Gary
the end of,
White
end
has
of
a very
spring.
serious question.
Okay, where's Gary White?
My friend told me he's only not committing suicide right now due to the effects it would have on public services and his family during COVID. If he's aware of this, should I
He's
hope he can
only
get help?
not committing suicide
I think he is
because of his family. Is that what we're saying there?
He's not committing suicide
Because of his family.
Because of his family.
Okay, that's a very common thing for seriously suicidal people to say. And the risk is you've got to get him. That's a medical emergency. That's a medical
Suicide
emergency.
hotline.
Get him to a psychiatric hospital. If somebody's at that phase where they're just barely hanging on like that,
Thinking about it?
because he's not just thinking about it. He eventually will go, you know what? They're better off without me. And that's it. Once he has that thought, it's done.
A mission for Michael.
So mission for Michael would be great.
If you're in Orange County, it depends on where you are, but a mission for Michael is one of our sponsors, and that's it's for men. Mostly men.
But
there are places everywhere. When you just take them to the ER and put them in a 5150 or something.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a start, right?
Yes, you can do that too. But it's usually better if you know of a psychiatric hospital or facility around. Just call the admitting office of that facility.
Call his doctor.
Call his doctor is also a good way to go.
There's suicide hotlines too. If you need more, if you have more questions, you can go.
I wonder if we're going to get Kelly to 6,000 deaths in a day. Kelly, I think who knows? Only the virus knows, but I would think there'd be a very low probability of that. Very, very low. Again, the only place the death rate is going up is in states that have never had any outbreak. The states that have had outbreaks are generally plateaued or down. California, can you put up California, Susan, the COVID tracking project? I just put up the last 90 days of California.
How did I know you were
look at that.
ask me for that?
Is this California or is this the whole country?
No, this is the whole country.
Yeah, let's look at it. So
you
you
want to see the whole country?
There's the whole country. The hospitalization is about 80,000. That's as high as it's ever been. Again, in the face of doctors encouraging hospitalization, so that's different. You can see we're maybe getting towards the top of that slope of cases, the red. It's sort of maybe turning, and we're going to get up around 200,000 cases a day. It certainly looks like. Again,
California.
mostly young people. And then the death rate, let's get to California death rate so you can see a state where it's going down all the time.
You want the last 90 days?
Last 90 days. Last 90 days.
Okay.
I think you should get that automatically.
Yeah.
This is it. That's good.
New
Go
tests.
down. Go
Tests
down.
are up a little bit.
We're having an outbreak. You can see that
Cases
we're
are
not
at
even quite yet where we were last
almost
summer, but we're having
9,000.
an outbreak, right? Hospitalizations are lower than they were last summer by quite a margin, in spite of a outbreak at the same number of
End
cases.
of August.
It was higher than that at one point.
Yeah.
So look at the death rate. Just down, down, down,
it's mostly
down.
young people.
Kelly Gallagher, I want you to look at that. Down, down,
Mostly young
down.
people are getting
Every
it.
day since August, just a steady decline. And some of that is that it's young people, and some of it is we now know how to treat this thing and prevent people
that's
from
true.
dying.
That's true.
So there we go.
I was ordering pie for Thanksgiving at Pie and Burger, and across the street I know. That's what I did today. I got my nails done too.
Oh, he loves blueberry pie, I think.
I got a blueberry, an apple, and a pumpkin.
She's asking what Adam Carolla pie likes. Yeah.
Which pie? Yeah. Anyways, there's a urgent care across the street,
Yes.
and there was about 10 people waiting in line to get a COVID test.
Right. I got one there once.
Yeah. I mean, people are going in and getting tested.
Sure. Here's Geek Links. A serious question. I tried to kill myself with 20 milligrams of Xanax and a liter of whiskey. Had a seizure, untreated now. I have a tic. It's been 6 months since my attempt. Should I see a neurologist? Yes, you should. The fact that you have a seizure related to that, you could have ongoing seizure disorder, and that has to be treated if you're planning to drive a car. So yes, by all means, by all means.
Wow, we missed a lot.
Kelly, we're at almost 4,000 today in terms of death rate for the country. Didn't you say 6,000 that you're looking for?
She wanted to know if we would get to 6,000.
I don't think we're going to get 6,000.
That's one per minute, according to
yes.
the newscasters.
Do you know how many people die of heart disease per minute? 3 per minute die of heart disease. So when they start doing these per
I
minute
hate that.
things,
I think one
yeah,
per
be
minute
very
is
careful.
dying from COVID-19. It's 1,400 a day. I thought we're at 4,000. I thought it was 1,400 a couple days ago.
Yeah, Kelly Gallagher, I'm not seeing 4,000. We were up at 2,800.
Go to the top.
We were up at 2,800 that was April 29th. I'm looking at the graphs for today, and it's like 1,800. We're 1,000
New
off
deaths
the high.
it was 1,555. So we're
Today.
going more than a minute now.
Today.
There's like 1,400 minutes.
Yeah,
in
but we're
a
not
day,
at
right?
4,000. Where did you get that 4,000 number?
Maybe in the whole world.
Maybe in the world.
She may be
That's-
thinking
yeah.
the entire world. Yeah.
Okay. Is the flu shot a good idea for kids? 3, 5, and 7. Ask your pediatrician. Probably for the 5 and 7-year-old.
I would give
Chad,
it to my
I want my
kids.
wife to get the vaccine as soon as possible. Wait on the kids. Good. We'll explain what you know about the vaccine and how safe it is. She won't listen to me for your common sense. Okay. So this is what's of the Pfizer vaccine and the Moderna vaccine are what are called RNA vaccines. They're little pieces of RNA that go into the cell and cause the cell to produce its spike proteins and parts of the virus that your immune system can then react to and be able to fight off those proteins when they see them again. It is a novel technology that's been available for many years for Ebola and other viruses that have been treated worldwide. It's the first time this particular technology has been deployed in this country. One of the reasons we wanted to use this one is that it's easier to manufacture quickly. So we can get to hundreds of millions of doses very, very quickly, which is where we're headed right now. As you heard, there's going to be an emergency use authorization. The FDA just has to approve it, and we'll have it within days. So that's the Moderna that's the AstraZeneca, which is going to be a $5 vaccine. That is the Moderna, and that is the Pfizer vaccine. If you are at risk, you should take this vaccine. If you are a first-line worker, you should take this vaccine. The risks of the vaccine are less than the risks of the virus itself, right? So if you're a risk factor, and your chance of getting serious complications of the COVID is 1 or 2%, and the risk of serious complications on the vaccine is approaching 0, if it's anything at all, and it may be longer term, we don't know, but it seems to be approaching 0, it's worth getting the vaccine. Now, if you are a 30-year-old healthy person and you wish to wait for the more traditional attenuated viral protein vaccine, fine. Do that and wait till the spring. You shouldn't be getting it till the spring anyway. The people who are at risk are the ones that should be getting it. Okay. Do I think the vaccine will start lowering cases? It's going to take a while. That's why I think that's why Fauci is saying things like wear a mask and distance, because we need to keep this behavior up for a little while. And by the way, it's a 2-part vaccine. It's 3 weeks apart for, I think, Moderna and 4 weeks for Pfizer. Yes, be careful, Heather, with the RA medicine. That's what we don't know about. 30 with type 1 diabetes. Micah, hard to say. I mean, diabetes is a significant risk factor, but it's mostly the type 2 diabetes that really puts me at risk for this thing. Susan, can you please, I'm begging you, turn the air on here?
Oh, sorry.
I'm just really, ugh.
Take your shirt off.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Why does it take 20 days to get immunity with the vaccine? Because your immune system has to turn on. It has to build it has to first build the protein particles. Then your immune system has to see it, present it to itself, build antibodies, build memory cells. It takes time. It takes time for that. When do other seasonal coronaviruses manifest? I think they're mostly sort of fall, winter viruses. As I said, I'm going to Richmond in about a week to get tested, my T-cell, B-cell functioning tested to see if I have any cross-reactivity with other coronaviruses. There's a chance that other colds we may have been exposed to when we were younger or across the years might confer some degree of immunity to SARS coronavirus too.
What you doing?
Looking for water.
So high maintenance
yeah,
today.
I know I am. I should have done this before I sat down. Fauci said that after the second dose, you should have immunity. A week after the second dose. That sounds about right to me. Thank you. Sounds about right. But that's still 28 days total, right? Depending on which vaccine you're, maybe 35 days. Which companies are doing the attenuated viruses? I'm not sure. I knew that at one time, actually, but I don't remember which. Debbie, Susan, did we not put up our list of supplements on the website? Debbie says she was looking for our recommendations for the vitamin C, vitamin D. We didn't put it up?
We did a video. I tweeted out the link where you know.
Ooh, so let me.
Wait. Let's do it again. So
Yeah.
it's on Periscope if you want. If you look at Periscope, let me get there.
So why don't you write it down here
I
on
say here's Dr. Drew's trying to get people to watch the show. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Okay,
Jamie Scott is a pharmacy tech saying he's usually dispensing Tamiflu like this time of year. None so far. Well, we know influenza's down. I'm telling you, it's influenza's down mostly because doctors aren't testing for it, and because we're testing for COVID instead, and kids aren't transmitting it. It's a primarily transmitted through schools and children. That's how it really gets going. And kids aren't at school.
Hold on a second. Let me see if it's
Thank you, Kelly.
okay.
All right, here we go. So,
Hold on. Saved photos. Wait, I got to do this. Well. Okay, so Dr. Drew's recommendations. It's going to be on Twitter, so if you want to see it, you have to go back. Tell a friend. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, vitamin C, 1,000 milligrams. Melatonin, somewhere between 5 and 10 milligrams. Vitamin D, 3. Ask your doctor, but 2 to 5,000 internet IUs, 2 to 5,000 IU. Zinc, 25 milligrams. Magnesium, 500 milligrams.
I'm not writing it down. You can
Oh.
keep going. I'm just going to share it on Twitter.
Oh, I thought you were writing it down. And the final thing is something I can't recommend because the data's not there yet, but Dr. Zelenko recommends, and several other doctors do as well, which is quercetin, Quercetin, 500 milligrams. Quercetin, 500 milligrams. Tyler, I don't know what you're asking about being close to the same numbers as the common flu. Flu is way down right now.
Yeah.
In other words, is the total number of cases similar to the flu?
I mean, if we didn't have a vaccine,
I
for the
think
flu,
we have
a
about
lot of
10
deaths.
times more COVID cases, if I remember right.
No,
to
it was
the
like
flu.
20,000.
Right.
Yeah.
We're about 10 times that. Thank you, Benjamin. He likes After Dark.
Magnesium of 500 milligrams will make you crap yourself. Thank you for sharing.
Not usually. Somebody is saying something about Dr. John Campbell, which I recommend his videos very highly.
Did you get in touch with him?
I sent him an email, Christopher. I don't know if he's heard of me or not, but I sent him an email and I've heard nothing back.
I just shared on Drew's Twitter. What it is you'll see where it starts. The Periscope will start. So if you have to go back to it, I don't know if I spoke in English, but I think it's shared. I just shared it.
What did you share? You just share what I was saying?
The different vitamins that you should take. So if you go to Twitter, you can find where it starts on the Periscope.
I'm double checking myself. Did I say something wrong about magnesium? 350 for adults.
B World has takes 500 milligrams of magnesium daily.
Yeah, I think
no
it's
poop
about
problems.
Yeah, I think it's usually around 5. It's actually good for sleep.
We had, and somebody said we should have Scott Adams on our program. He's been on our program 2 times.
He's too busy now
He
for us.
was so busy during the election. I reached out to him, and he said he wasn't taking any new interviews. He's exploded on Periscope and YouTube. He's so popular.
Yes, indeed.
We're Nobodiesville now.
Okay, let me see what we got here on the stream. Serious question. If I go see a neurologist for my tic disorder, will my family find out because they don't know about my suicide attempt or drug use? If you were an adult, you were entitled to confidential care, period. End of story.
Look up Dr. Zelenko on Twitter. What is Dr. Zelenko up to these days?
He has been DMing me like crazy.
Is he? He wants to
Yeah,
come?
he's fending off the haters wherever he goes. He's very upset about people that are attacking his protocols.
Maybe we can talk to him tomorrow or something. Do you want to talk to him?
Fine. I'm always happy to talk to him. He's got an interesting point of view.
I know.
Tyler, I don't know quite what you're asking because he keeps asking the same question over and over, and I keep answering it.
We're not close to the numbers of the flu. Flu numbers are down
Flu numbers are way down.
because
Way,
everybody's
way
wearing a mask.
No, it's because children aren't in school. Children are
that's
the main transmitter of the flu. And doctors aren't testing for the flu because we test. Somebody here just a few minutes ago said my brother is having fever and chills, and I said, yes, he should go get tested for COVID. But guess what? He should be tested for COVID, and if he's negative, then be tested for influenza, which we're not doing. We're not really doing that. B World, I have sent an email in to John Campbell. Turns out John Campbell's not a doctor. He's a nurse, and he's a nurse who teaches. And now I'm even more fascinated by him. He's a very clear thinker and a very well-educated dude, and I want to hear his story. So in addition to discussing, things like vitamin D and zinc, I want to discuss his own personal story with him because I bet you it's very interesting. And he was in the military too. So you can read about him, John Campbell. And you go to YouTube and watch his videos. They're very good, very clear. I have no quarrels with what his comments are.
What is this guy? Awesome. He did an entire episode on vitamins, COVID-19.
Yes, he did.
Okay, I'm gonna copy that and put it so everybody can have the link.
That's Dr. Oh wait.
No, that's a different one.
It's a different
Dr.
one.
Drew
Borjokez. Get Campbell. Go to John Campbell. I think it keeps saying Dr. Oh, I guess it's Dr. John Campbell because I think he may have a PhD in nursing, but he's not a physician. So anyway, interesting. Danish study, a trial on masks and COVID spread. They say it makes no difference. I did see that study, and of course, the way science works is there will be studies that confirm and studies that disconfirm. You have to read all the literature, look at the assumptions, look at the experimental design, look at the statistical analysis, and then decide within the context of the body of literature on a given topic how that one fits in. And that Danish study doesn't fit in very well. So then you have to look in and go, did they make some assumptions? Was there something about the execution of the? Were their endpoints wrong? You got to go look at the weeds on the study when it doesn't fit with everybody else.
Chad Quackenbush did another super chat for $9.99. Thank you very, very much, Chad. Now, my wife and I are debating why are people who had COVID early getting reinfected? Shouldn't they have antibodies?
Nobody's getting. Let's stop with the reinfection. Stop with the reinfection. Go watch John Campbell's video on the reinfection rate. 25 people on the planet out of the tens of millions of people that have gotten COVID, 25 have been shown to have had reinfection. So now they're being studied to see what it is about those 25 people out of millions and millions. That was it the virus that mutated in just such a way? Was it something about their immune function? We're going to find that out. 25 out of tens of millions have been reinfected.
Tens of millions of people have gotten it?
Well, what is it now? What is it in this country? 3 million or something?
In the world, I mean, it's not tens of millions, is it?
It's got to be.
No, because they said 1 million people have died.
Well, not died. I'm talking about have gotten the virus.
And then that was like the news, right? 1 million people died in the world.
News.
So it could... I mean, maybe 10 million people could have gotten.
Well, if the case fatality rate is less than 1%, and 1 million people died, it's got to be 100 million people.
Somebody can look it up for me. I'm not going to look it up.
In the United States, how many people? 11 million in the United States, Susan. 11
have
million.
Had it?
Yes.
Oh.
That's just the United States. So
all right,
yes,
you're
there's
right then. Okay.
tens of millions of people have had this thing, and are fine. The vast majority are fine. What was I talking about? I lost my train of thought already.
The reinfection.
Oh, so in fact, if you watch John Campbell's video, he goes through in great detail studies on people who've had the coronavirus 1 and coronavirus 2, our current epidemic, and showing that with coronavirus 1, there may be as long as 17 years of immunity, and now evidence of years of cellular immunity. You don't need the antibodies. What you have are B cells and T cells ready at hand to mount an attack with antibodies when it sees the virus. You don't need the antibodies circulating. That's now been well established. So it's pretty clear that immunity is at least on the order of years.
Andrew keeps telling you the Oxford phase 2 vaccine results were good today. And
that's interesting.
And your favorite model is back, but just current info, no projection, COVID-19 projections.
Okay, good. Thank you. So we'll start.
You said that twice, so I don't think you saw
I did not see it before. That is my favorite model because of all the weeds that they get into. The Oxford, I'm surprised Oxford is still just at phase 2. They should be at phase 3 by now. But you're right, it is a very good day. It is a very good day for in terms of treatment and vaccine therapies. It's moving along nicely. Had COVID back in July, Chris says, will the vaccine do anything? You should not be vaccinated at this point, I would suggest. You may need to be vaccinated next year, so somebody's got to make that decision. That's still off a little bit.
I would get it.
The vaccine, even if you've had the
I
virus?
think so. I wouldn't want to be one of those 25
I think that's a
people.
mistake. I think that's a mistake. Not till we have the live attenuated stuff and sort of really have.
I mean, I would wait maybe 8
Yeah.
months. And then
Yeah. That's right. Suicide claim more months in the month of October than 10 months of COVID. Does not surprise me.
Uh-oh, I didn't even
Something
get-
is going on with the Japanese island that is different. Again, I would look at John Campbell's discussion about that. I suspect there may be something genetic going on because they are so different. When will the T-cell immunity test be available? Steven Cedillo, I think probably in January. I'm going to get it done in about 2 weeks. I'm going to do a whole thing with Dr. Oz about it and talk about it. So look for that.
Wait, did you just answer Joseph?
I did not.
T-cell immunity test.
Oh, that was Joseph. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes, it was Joseph.
Thanks for the super chat. And also thank you, Quackenbush, as well.
If you had COVID in March and then tested negative for antibodies, is that possible? Yes, Karen, that is very possible. Again, until we have the more definitive immune testing of T-cell function, it's all kind of very vague still.
I like this blaming anything on Twitch. He said, imagine if people cared about cancer as much as COVID.
Right.
I bet they could find a cure within a year as well.
It's funny you would say that. I was thinking about some other illness this morning. I was thinking about homelessness. And I thought
right.
if they approach homelessness
Mental
the way they
health.
did this, it'd be over in a week.
I know.
It'd be done, finished. I mean, what the hell?
Right. 100,000 people are in the street of LA. We could
So
have that cleaned up.
Kathleen, the Denmark mutation with a different spike protein, that was the mink virus outbreak that did get into humans. It was studied and either was suppressed and has been eliminated or was found to be not that big a deal. The science around that just stopped as though it's not a big problem.
So there's some positive White House conference today. Great info, Fauci/Azar. Super
Oh, good.
impressed with this vaccine efficacy. Somebody said something positive.
Okay, here is
Believe it. I don't believe it.
on November 20th, Christopher has given us the coronavirus cases at 57,198,000.
Oh.
57 million, and the deaths at 1,300,000.
It is tens of millions.
Yeah, it's tens of millions.
Oh, you weren't exaggerating.
No,
I'm
I
very
was
proud of
not
you.
exaggerating.
No,
It
Drew does exaggerate
tens of- I
sometimes.
try not to.
I know, but you do.
Yeah, Jerry
It's
Ann.
hereditary. You know.
Jerry Ann, the drug addiction focus would be nice as well. 100 million vaccines ready to ship. Anthony says, no, they don't yet. There will, though. They will very soon. I know they have something like 20 million ready to go, and they're ramping up to 100 million. That's what they have said, at
God,
least.
we have a lot of questions coming at once.
Mm,
I'm very happy you guys are here, though. Keeps Drew busy.
yes, I do appreciate it. It makes me feel useful to answer your questions, so I do appreciate the questions. When can we have mental health? Yeah, I know. When can we start to focus on that? I'll get Anthony Brown back in here, and we'll do some more of that.
Well, Arlene has been calling me and wants to do something on mental health. So.
And Kelly Gallagher again, who listens to Cale Lowry's podcast,
we gotta hook
brought
that
me up. Well, what did she bring? Oh, you know
wants
what?
to be on the podcast.
She wants to be on this.
Yeah.
You need to call her.
I know.
Thank you, Kelly, for
Well, we
reminding
kind of
us.
had a plan to do it to promote the reunion show
When it comes
but that's
out.
January. But you know, and then
She
also
really wants to come on
Nessa.
everything.
Nessa wants to come on as well.
Right, we get Nessa in here. Nessa would be great.
But I was thinking, was she bringing it up? Maybe we could do it sooner.
Tell us, Kelly Gallagher, did she want to get on? She was discussing childhood trauma and saying that she had at first disagreement
With you.
with me, probably, yeah, because I kept bringing it up with her. No, she was severely traumatized for sure, and she had all the earmarks, when she was younger. That's what used to worry me about working with her. If you remember, she would storm off the stage all the time because I would feel her collapse into dissociation.
I know. It's hard though because they tape everything so far in advance, and then you do the reunion show so far in advance. Well, it was this year, and then we can't really talk about it before the reunion show. So there's really nothing to talk about until after the reunion show.
Well, Kayla and I could get into.
We can't mess with MTV.
No, I know, but we could have the trauma conversation, which would be nice.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Kratom Geeked? Not a fan. I've seen people go out on it. I know the Bell brothers who've been in here on my podcast are very into it and swear by it. If you're an opiate addict, stay away. If you're not an opiate addict, it is a weak opiate. And if
Does
you
it
need a
help
weak
with sore
opiate,
muscles?
it does, but it's a weak opiate. You just should not be messing with that stuff, humbly. I mean,
I hate getting old.
I saw what happened to you on CBD.
It wasn't that bad.
I
I just had achiness. Super chat. Do you know of Dr. Alok Kanogia, health gamer GT on YT and Twitch, Harvard psych who put together an organization to help gamers' mental health?
Oh, I did not, but that's interesting.
It could be cool to collaborate.
He'd be
with
interesting for a stream. He'd be very good to talk to. So I'm all for it.
Find me the
Yeah, I've got a
email.
bunch of people I want to get on the streams here.
All right. You know what? I just got back from Mexico. And I got shit going. You've been keeping me busy with Fox, and now you have to do the Daily Blast tomorrow. And
I know.
I'm
Tips
only
for
one woman here.
I know. Tips
One
for
woman
spinal
show.
stenosis.
I
Boy.
need a booker.
So, Mark, spinal stenosis is not the usual back pain, right? Usual back pain is disc disease. Spinal stenosis is an actual impingement on the spine.
Maybe I
Local
can hire
injections,
Michelle
steroid
again.
injections, you want to do as little as possible to that if you can.
Maybe I should hire Michelle to book doctors. She's good at it.
Okay. Geek. Kratom regularly, medicinal doses, done 20 grams, and not it out.
Who
Of
wants
course
to
you
make money to book shows?
Is an anion
Anybody
gap
out
score of
there?
20 something to worry about.
Got a little free time on your hands?
Anion
Make
gap.
some emails.
Andrew Oshkosh, really, Susan is a vacation from her vacation. Anthony Brown supporting you. I'm trying to answer the anion gap issue. Depends what situation is, right? It's sodium, potassium, chloride, bicarbonate, and that 20 is depending on the situation. That can be something.
Thank you, Dunn9977. She said I look good.
If you're fighting from
Oh, it was a video. Oh God.
Okay, so what was that?
Super on Juicy Scoop. It was video.
The whole thing was video?
I guess.
Oh boy. If you're fighting COVID from home, are there any medications that the doctor can prescribe to help fight the virus? Yes, there are. Dr. Yo and I reached a consensus based on what's out there that ivermectin is a good idea. Ivermectin with doxycycline, probably a good idea. So you can talk to your doctor about that. I think it's 12. It's like 100 micrograms per kilogram, like 12 milligrams a day.
I can call Dr. Yo and see if he'll come tomorrow. I didn't really book anybody this week because people actually like doing this and not listening to your interviews.
Oh, they like preferring just this.
You get a lot of information out there when we just do this.
Okay. John Smith says the CDC indicating that the infection fatality rate for age 70 plus is 0.054%. So it's less than 0.05%. Does this mean that if you get COVID at 70, your chances of death is only 0.054%? That's how I would read what you've said here. I'm wondering if that is an infection I don't know. I would need to see how they define infection fatality rate, but I would imagine that's what that means. We know that it's way less than 1, that's for sure. I'm wondering if it's not 0.05%, if it's just 0.054, not 0.054%. That makes more sense. So that would put it around 0.5%, right? I bet it's 0.054 without the percent sign. So that makes more sense. People with psoriatic arthritis, you should be fine provided you're not any of the immune suppressing medication. Andrew Oshkosh-Vili, more breaking news. What do you got? I've got interesting breaking news that Scott is reminding me of. Why did Fauci and the World Health Organization flipped on asymptomatic not being contagious? Because
Wait.
There's some.
You scared the shit out of me, and now you're telling me it's not happening?
Well, there's some evidence that.
Wait.
Yeah.
I want to be that person, though. I told you.
Okay, asymptomatic people may be non-spreaders. It may be pre-symptomatic, but I'm not sure. I think I'm still don't know what to make of
we're
that
taking
yet.
the fear out of COVID.
But hold on now.
I had a runny nose yesterday, and I was freaked out because I didn't have a fever. But it was just an allergy because it was gone today. But it's like, how can you take the asymptomatic part away now?
I am guessing.
Just scared the entire country.
I'm guessing, Andrew Oshkosh-Vili, that this is something about leronlimab. So you can just go ahead and tell us. I can't switch over to Twitter while I'm looking at this thread. So I'm guessing.
It is the Santa Ana.
So I'm guessing leronlimab may have been approved. You tell me if that's true.
I also realized my house is very dusty. It's not as humid as Mexico. And I got home, my nose started running.
R. Bryant, that is my goal, is to calm everyone's mood and affect and anxiety and stuff. That's what John Campbell does for me a little bit of. So that's nice. Fauci changes his mind all the time, Sarah Moore. That is true, because that's the way science works. That's how you do science. You evolve. You constantly change your mind. Let's see. Are HIV deniers dangerous? Yeah, I would say. I wanted to. So as somebody's asking, what can you do from home? So ivermectin and doxycycline. Some people say hydroxychloroquine, but that'd be very early. I'm unconvinced about hydroxychloroquine right now.
Joshua once said I might have already had corona, but I did get the serum test and it was negative, and I was I should have just said I had it so I can just travel.
So James, you're asking if the chances of dying are below 1%, why are so many people dying? Because we have 11 million cases. So do the math. We have 11 million cases, and 1%, generally speaking, die. So that we just do 1%. Let's do 1% of 11 million. Okay, let's just do that. We'll do 1%, 0.01 times 11 million equals
1.1 million.
What did I do it wrong?
What did you get?
I got 110,000 deaths. That's
110,000.
I think I got it wrong. Right? It seems like 1.1 million would be better.
No, it's funny because last year I got really sick, and there were some really weird viruses going through New York. I mean, this is giving us all the opportunity to really look at how, we should be a little more worried about catching bugs. I mean, all bugs.
Right. I totally agree. This is raising awareness about infectious diseases. So let's actually do that. So we have 11,373,000 cases in the United States times, For example,
on Christmas, I had to go to dinner with my husband and my 2 boys, and I felt so bad, and I had a sore throat, and I probably had a fever, and I had to get out of bed and go to dinner. If I was smart, I would have said no, but I still went, and God knows who I gave it to. I mean, my nose was running, and I was, but Drew will fight through a virus and still go to work. I am the kind of person, I want to just go to bed for a day and not leave the house. So
11, hang on a second, 11,373.
No need for calculators. Yeah. Thank you, B World. Smart house.
I think it's going to end up being 2% is the death rate in this country going to be. I'm just calculating the death rate.
0.02.
Yep. 0.02 or 2%.
Yeah.
Times 0.02 equals.
Well, it's 250 right now.
Yeah, we're about 0.02. So the overall death rate in this country is about 0.02, about 2%. But the point was that's mostly 80 and above. That's mostly elderly patients, 75 and above. So we're right there.
Somebody cares asks, what do you think about Dr. Christiane Northrup's video? Who is that? I wouldn't know. Dr.
Andrew
Christiane, did you hear the question, Drew?
Say it again.
Super chat. What do you think about Dr. Christiane Northrup's video?
I have no idea. Don't know what that is.
I haven't seen it. We'll have to check it out.
Survival rate different than infection fatality rate. I'm imagining survival rate is the converse of infection fatality rate. So survival is percent of surviving as opposed to the fatality rate. Okay.
So is survival rate different than infection fatality?
I just answered that.
Yep. God, how am I so behind?
I don't know.
It was all in caps. So.
Okay, Andrew, I see that you're going. I get it. I'll look. I just won't look while I'm on this thread so much. So
I'm running. Andrew's running.
Yeah, so I'm going back to the guy that was asking about the fatality rate. So you asked, so it's 2%. So of the 11 million who got the illness, 200,000 died. It's 250,000. It's about 2%. But we were talking about the fatality rate for 70 plus, which may be 0.5%. That makes some sense to me. We could look that data up somewhere, but the more significant death rate, like in 10% category, is people 80 plus, and that's mostly who dies of this thing.
So let's give a shout out to Locals.
Yeah, locals.com/Dr. Drew is where
drdrew.locals.com.
drdrew.locals.com. I'm trying. Now I'm looking for the gentleman that asked that question about the death rate. Did that make sense to you? Do we know now which human HLA type, human leukocyte antigen, has any better chance against COVID-19? Sort of like how HLA-B27 is good for HIV and Epstein-Barr virus. I've seen a little bit of data around that Dragoner 2009, but most of it has been major blood types and obscure genes. I've not seen any just more common HLA typing like B27. So blood type A is thought to be a little bit worse off. Blood type O is thought to be a little better. But and I did see some HLA stuff again, but not common HLAs. You keep asking about the rheumatoid arthritis, and I keep saying that is a concern if you're on immunosuppressives. Now, whether or not the live attenuated would be appropriate or just a protein particle, an RNA, that will hopefully come from the company with guidance. Dawn Break, most of the deaths were in March. Yeah, that's true. Isha Aguilera, sorry you only see me at your mom's house. That's a very specific thing. Have I heard of a pure sports specialist? My friend would have a great show. Yes, I'm all about pure sport. Nicole, all about them. I sort of really helped. I tried to help initiate all that stuff. Let's see. John Hopkins released a study. 240,000 people died due to medical error per year. It was the third cause of death in 2016. How come nobody was freaking out about that? Right. That's very much the point that, believe it or not, Dr. Phil tried to make and was skewered for it. He was saying, look how many people die of heart disease. Look how many people die of car accidents. Look how many people die of medication errors. We should try to relax about this. And he was just crucified for it. So that's what people get for trying to calm people down. He wasn't saying it was a non-event. He was just trying to get everyone to put it in perspective and to calm themselves down.
Most important question for today. Mm-hmm. Who wins tonight, Seahawks or Cardinals?
We're sort of Seahawk fans now, right? Because we spent the week with John Ryan. So,
yeah.
The last big pandemic, how many people have died in the United States? Kelly Gallagher, I believe it was around 60,000. And that was H1N1. That one killed 650,000 worldwide, almost killed me. And it did not kill old people. It killed 30 to 50-year-olds or 20 to 40-year-olds, really. So it killed young people. And we should have been much more upset about young people dying then. In terms of years of life lost, there were actually probably more years of life lost from H1N1 than COVID. Do you understand what I mean by years of life lost? That you assume somebody's going to live to 85. You die at 25, that's 60 years lost. An 80-year-old who dies loses 5 years. So years of life lost, if it's, let's say, on average 50 are lost from H1N1 times 60,000, that's, what, 300,000? Or is that more? Is that 3 million life years, as opposed to now we're at 250,000 times maybe 10. So it's about 2 million, 2.5 million life years. So it's close. It's very close.
Somebody wants to know if you could repost the info about supplements for menopause.
The
bioidentical.
Yeah, bioidentical hormones. Do you want to repost Dr. Donovitz's interview maybe?
So yeah, just Google Dr. Gary Donovitz and you'll find a link to his website, which is basically information about bioidentical hormone pellets that they put under your skin, and he's just a good source. And then ask your doctor for a hormone specialist if in your area, if you're not in the Dr. Donovitz area.
Christopher, I'm trying to follow your comment here about the numbers to find out the death rate versus recovery. California, 1 million cases, 18,000 deaths. Yeah. Very few. Would you be able to use ivermectin? Yes, you can. We have it here on hand at home in case somebody gets sick. We're going to use ivermectin. That's what we're going to do. Kelly Gallagher thinks she's perimenopausal. You should take advantage of Dr. Donovitz's stuff. He really is very helpful.
I wish
I'm
I
telling
had
you.
it when I was perimenopausal. It just made me
Okay,
nuts.
so they've now approved. Oh, Andrew, this is a new approval of baricitinib, which is I believe an IL-6 inhibitor. Is that right, Andrew? With remdesivir for active COVID. So that's interesting. This is now just approved by the FDA. Baricitinib, which is, am I right that it's an IL-6 inhibitor? Help me, Andrew. I'll have to look it up otherwise, which I don't really want to do while I'm watching the thread here.
Did you have your dinner yet?
Andrew's not answering me fast enough. Susan,
He's running, honey. He said
no, he just sent me a nice text about something cool that just happened. Not a text, a stream here. Andrew, there he is. Look it up. 1 second.
I'm giving the dog a cookie.
I know you're talking to the dog out loud. I know you.
She comes in and just looks at me funny,
Like, come on, let's go.
it's that time because they usually come in around 4 o'clock and they're like, "Come on, let's go downstairs."
Oh, it's a JK inhibitor. That's right. This is a Janus kinase inhibitor. Again, let's kind of talk about this. Today's demonstration, FDA's steadfast effort to make potential treatments available in a timely manner. Good, they did so. So baricitinib is a JK inhibitor, blocks the activity of one or more specific family of enzymes, interfering with the pathways leading to inflammation. Again, it's sort of in the cytokine system. It's a prescription oral tablet, treatment of moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis, and today in combination with remdesivir for the treatment of certain hospitalized patients with laboratory-confirmed COVID-19. Very interesting. I don't see the specific criteria for use yet. It's an emergency use authorization. Hats off to the FDA, man. The FDA has gotten their shit together in this outbreak, and they are to do an effective EUA. I mean, you have to have armies of attorneys and armies of scientists reviewing this information day and night. Let's see. 515 patients received the baricitinib plus remdesivir, 518 placebo plus remdesivir. Recovery, the endpoint was discharge from the hospital or hospitalized without supplemental oxygen. Medium time recovery was 7 days for the treatment group, 8 days for the placebo group. The odds of patients progressing to death or being ventilated at 29 days was lower in the baricitinib and the JK inhibitor.
Where are you reading this?
From the CDC. So there you go. That's the update from that interesting new treatment. And this is what I've been saying from the beginning, that nobody improvises and does research better than the American medical system. Nobody, period. We hear all this criticism about smoking rates and obesity and all this stuff. Nobody does better. Responding with science and creativity and great research and then improvisational application. That's it. That's the best.
Shout out to Hydrolite. Go to drdrew.com/Hydrolite and use the code drdrew25 for 25% off.
Glenda says she's excited to have the COVID vaccine. She just can't wait. I'm with you, Glenda. You can walk around like a normal human again. You can consider yourself normal 1 month after you get that vaccine. Okay, Kathleen, Guillain-Barré and an uncle from a flu vaccine. 15 years and he still has issues walking. Well, Guillain-Barré happens sporadically. It happens just all the time from viruses, not necessarily from the flu vaccine, though it has been reported with the vaccine. So that's maybe 1 in 10 million or so. So that's a very unfortunate and sad thing. Lisa Vanderpump.
Oh, yeah, you were on her show this week.
Barb Moser, I absolutely would add LCSW to that list, and it's a bad on me for not putting that. I apparently when I was talking to Lisa Vanderpump, I said, look, if you're going to get trauma therapy, look for people with a high degree of training, somebody with a PsyD, PhD, MD after their name. I should have also said LCSW, 100%.
Bootyful, was it Bootyful? Dr. Drew, will you grow that silver stash for November? We should.
They made me do it while we were in Mexico.
Well, you did the whole face.
Yeah, so yes, I will do November.
It is November now, honey.
Oh, well, I'll do a little bit of it.
It was funny because he uses a lot of skin cream on his face, and sometimes his skin gets really flaky. And he let it grow out for 3 days, and I looked over and I was like, "Is your skin okay?" And then I realized it was his beard. He had this white beard. It was so fun.
So fun.
But
You're
then I told him it was fine. He could shave it.
Yeah, like right away. Get that thing off
He
you.
did not waste a second.
Yeah,
he literally
I could tell
had it
the
done
look of horror in her face. I was like, this is coming
the
off.
mustache I get, but Heather said that it does make you look older when you have gray hair on your face. It does change your look.
Christopher Lundgren is asking about the European handling of COVID. I have no direct, the totality of my information comes from John Campbell. He's very interesting to see how he reviews how all the different countries managed it differently and what worked and what didn't work. I'm not convinced anything really worked except what we know works, which is masks and distancing. Their idea of lockdown is essentially you can't go to a bar after 6 p.m. That's lockdown in England. So schools are open, work is open, everyone's doing what what they would normally do. So the idea of people sheltering in place is, I mean, if people really understood in Europe that we did that, they'd be blown away.
Okay, I'm getting tired. I want to go watch the football game.
Okay, it is time. Do I think we'll go back to normal by 2021? Yes, Jerry Yang, I think we will go back to normal by next summer. I think something like normal. I think we'll have a normal football season next year. Okay, guys, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it as always. Excellent.
No Fox 11 tonight.
No Fox 11 because
preempted by the
Thursday night football
Seahawks
preempted me.
Cardinals game.
Right. But we will be in here tomorrow. Yes, we will. Let's look at the schedule. What time are you thinking tomorrow?
3:00-ish.
Same-ish time tomorrow.
Yeah.
Good.
I don't have a guest yet, but I don't know.
Why don't we bring Mia Burke in? She has that interesting website.
I got you Kay Smythe on Saturday.
I see that, and I was laughing at myself because I kept going.
You asked for her.
I know. I kept going. I got to talk to Kay.
She's going to come in. So
Amazing.
We got some eye candy here.
That's great.
Yeah, she's getting her new hair extension. She would have done it today or tomorrow, but she was busy getting her hair extension.
Too crazy.
I know. So I don't know. Maybe we'll come up. Oh,
what? Susan?
Somebody gave you a $5.
Is there a question
super
in there?
chat. Yeah, it's about his penis.
Uh-oh.
Shingles on my shaft.
Not
the first time they flared. First time down.
That
below.
is not shingles. That would be herpes. Yeah, that would be herpes. Herpes looks just like shingles.
Jimmy Floyd's
and
calling
especially
me.
if they come back, that's
why is
what
Jimmy
herpes
Floyd
is.
calling me?
And
My two gay friends have reached out to me during the show.
I will tell you what's important is make sure a doctor looks at it while there's a rash, because that's how the diagnosis is made. They have to see the rash. So if you have a recurrent episode of something that looks like shingles, that's genital herpes. Shingles is a herpes virus. So shingles is technically herpes too, as well. It just doesn't. It's just a different syndrome by a different herpes virus. But the outbreak looks the same. With zoster or shingles, it hits a single dermatome, meaning the distribution of a single nerve. With genital herpes, it really hides in the sacrum and comes out on the genitalia because it's right there in the midline. And shingles is not midline. Okay, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you, Andrew, for coming back. That's good news about the JK inhibitors. I did all hear there was an IL-6 inhibitor in the wings as well. I didn't hear that they were combining it with remdesivir, but maybe they will. That'll be interesting. In any event, we'll see you tomorrow around the same time.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Sorry, I had to pick up that line. Hold on a second, Jimmy.
According to SAMHSA's National Survey on Drug Use and Health, approximately 20.3 million people above the age 12 suffer from substance use disorder. Incredible. The disease of addiction takes an average of 130 Americans every day. Sadly, the opioid crisis, which many consider the worst pandemic of our time, has been even further perpetuated by the spread of COVID-19. Since the start of the coronavirus outbreak, drug overdoses have increased by 18%. Factors like economic stress and social isolation have led to increased depression and unnecessary deaths. A Better Life Recovery is a premier addiction treatment center in Southern California, offering one of the most highly regarded and comprehensive addiction treatment programs in the United States. Dedicated to helping its clients achieve complete inner and outer transformation, they offer a 45 to 90-day program custom tailored to meet the needs of each individual client. Long-term is the way to go. Many of A Better Life's clients elect to stay up to 9 months to receive additional support. A Better Life Recovery will do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to ensure the success of every client. Are you ready for a better life? Go to abetterliferecovery.com or call 866-581-4401 now. As we're gradually moving back to opening schools and businesses and, of course, our in-person interactions, I want to remind you, this is all time with cold and flu season getting going. Staying hydrated is key to helping your body deal with the added stress and with the upcoming flu season. My regular fans have heard me talk about a product called Hydrolite for a long time now. It's an amazing rapid rehydration drink. It's a mix that, well, we're obsessed with here. I'm excited to announce they've just released Hydrolite Plus Immunity just in time for cold and flu season. Hydrolyte Plus Immunity starts with their fast absorbing electrolytes and adds a host of immune boosting ingredients. Each single serve, easy pour drink mix contains 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C and 300 milligrams of elderberry extract, creates what is hopefully immune boosting formula that's high in antioxidants and zinc. Combining this with Hydrolyte's 7 key electrolytes, it's a fantastic way to stay proactive and properly hydrated. Hydrolyte Plus Immunity comes in convenient, easy to pour powder sticks that rapidly dissolve in water and make a great tasting drink that has 75% less sugar than your typical sports drink. It uses all natural flavors and it is gluten-free, dairy-free, caffeine-free, non-GMO, and it is vegan. And you can find Hydrolyte Plus by visiting hydrolyte.com/Dr. Drew. Again, that's hydralyte.com/DRDRW. And be sure to use our code Dr. Drew 25 at checkout for a special discount.